Hey, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the chaos of my fall market prep season. We are in the thick of it at the moment. I will be honest with you, I'm kind of getting to the point where I don't know how to describe the way I'm thinking right now, but I'm at the point where I feel like I have enough to fill the double space booths that I have coming up, but I also feel like I don't. Does that make any sense at all? Like, I feel like I've been focusing, if you've watched the last few videos, you know, I've been making a lot of kind of my mid-tier, like $25 to $45 items, and not a whole lot. Well, okay. 2 videos ago, I made a lot of the smaller items that are less than $20. And so that was a really good and very productive video to kind of go through and get all of that done. It made me feel a little bit better. However, what I have now run into is we have started doing a mock setup for a double booth space because I'm not about to show up to a market with a larger space and not have a clue what I'm doing and then spend the entire time. And honestly, thank goodness, because I did not realize how much space 20 foot by 10 foot is, and even more so 12 foot by 24 foot. That's the size of my next 2 market spaces. Now, we have gone through the process of laying out all of my kind of, big stretch. Oh my goodness. Oh, she just came back in the room. Do you want to see Rosie? Say hi, girl. Hey. Say hello. I guess I should probably start off by saying hi. My name is Tabs. I am the maker and creator behind Safari Stitches. Welcome back. If you are a returning viewer / subscriber, hello, hi, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. It's so lovely to meet you. This is such a bizarre, this is not my normal intro, so forgive me. I just kind of dove right in today and this is just a hot mess, but either way, welcome back or hello, it's nice to meet you. I'm Tabs. I guess based on this video so far, you could see that you can expect a lot of chaos on this channel, but a lot of crochet content, market content. We're coming up into the busy season, so buckle in because it's going to be crazy for the next 2 months. 2 months of chaos, which is pretty much what I've geared myself up for. Anyways, as I was saying, we did our market setup. We set up all of the furniture, like the tables, the shelving, etc. And I think I have it laid out how I want. I've slowly started to set out plushies and unbox things and just kind of start filling my display. Since I have a broken ankle and I'm not really sure what my physical state is going to be by the time I have my first market on the 25th, I want to make sure I set myself up for success, and we are doing a full-blown setup. I'm literally putting out everything and setting up my display aside from tablecloths and stuff, which honestly, tablecloths is such a minor thing, but I want to make sure that I can fill out my entire space. I want to make sure I have all my signs made and ready to go, and then I'm taking pictures of each section and each table so that my mom and dad are coming in town next weekend, and my mom is going to come with us to the market and help us set up. So there'll be 3 of us, but just in case I am not on my feet at that point, I at least have photos, detailed photos of what I want it to look like when it's done being set up. That way I don't have to constantly babysit everybody because I'm very particular about how I want my booth to look. Anyways, I digress. So we're in the process of doing that. And in that process, I know you guys are familiar. If you are a returning subscriber, you are familiar with my extremely detailed and extremely long market prepping lists. And I will tell you right now that this is just not, I'm not going to get through all of this. Not even close. Not even close. So now my plan of attack, I'm still going to stick to that list. If it's not on the list, other than one thing that I might try to squeeze in. I don't think I'm going to at this point, but I might. I'm trying to stick to that list, but I'm also trying to make sure that I have enough inventory of the things that I already have made. And one of the things that I noticed, I had to add a couple of things to my list. So I started making a list like while I am setting up my booth downstairs. I've been making a list like as I notice like things are not as full as I want them to be, whatever. So the first thing that I noticed, I am bringing my crochet and knit beanies to these next 2 markets because I have the space to bring it all. So I'm having a full display. If you've seen previous videos of mine from markets, you know that I have these standing grid walls. So I'm setting up a table with 2 grid walls behind it, and I'm hanging some of the beanies off the grid walls, and then I'm laying the rest of the beanies out on the table just as like a really nice beanie display. And something that I noticed was that I only have 4 kids beanies left, and then I have about 25 adult beanies. So I added it to my list. Whether or not I'm going to actually get to making those, they're kind of low on the priority list because it's still fairly hot here. I don't know what the weather is going to be like in a week and a half for this market. I should mention today is the 15th, so we've got 10 days until this market. I don't know what the weather is going to look like at that point. I'm sure it'll be cooler, but it's probably still going to be fairly warm. So I'm not expecting the beanies to fly off the shelves. Therefore, putting more kids' beanies out is not necessarily a priority. But I added it to my list. If I need something that's really easy for me to carry around, it's just 2 skeins of yarn, like regular yarn, and I can just crochet them on the go really easily because I don't need like stuffing or safety eyes. So anyways, the next thing that I noticed was low were possums, my mini possums. So I have 6 of them. So that's actually what I am currently working on right now, is making some more of these little possums. Since I have 6, I wanted to get myself up to 15 total. So I've made 9. I am done pretty much making them. I'm just adding ears and the tail now. So those are almost done, so I can knock those off my list. The other thing that I noticed, my chubby birds, which they are on my list. Possums were not originally because I had them in stock, but I didn't realize I only had 6 of them. I have 5 of the chubby white birds. The mallards are my better sellers than the white ones, so I definitely need to make sure I crank some of those out between now and my market. I have 3 of them made without wings and feet, so I just need to finish those off. But I would like to try and make 10 of the mallards, I think. I'm not really sure. And then the next thing that I've added to my list are axolotls. Those are the things that I've added to my list so far, but that's really all I've been able to unbox and unpack from my inventory bags. So there's no telling what else I might come across. With that said, I am going to get back to working on my possums, and I will touch base with you guys in a little bit. Okay. Wow. I started that with a terrible angle. I got all of the possums finished, all 9 done. I am definitely going to continue making the ears as the little bobble stitches. It went so much quicker than making each ear individually and then sewing them on. It just sped by. So I've got 9 of those finished. I don't know what I'm going to move on to next. So chubby mallards and axolotls are the next 2 things. I don't really know that I feel like making either of those right now. Not really, to be completely honest. So let me get my other list. Okay, I think I'm just going to tell you what is still left on my list. I took the big anchor off of my market prep list. Chubby birds, mallards, and the white ducks. I have 5 white ducks in stock. I have no mallards, so I definitely need to get some mallards done. The next thing on the list is Cookie, the cow snuggler. It's the Bitty Cow Snuggler by Raven Jade Co. I wanted to make 5 of those. Cow plushies. One of my best sellers. I wanted to make hanging plants, but I don't think I'm going to make those. I have some snugglers on my list. The only one I do not have in stock is the possum snuggler. I probably will not make those. The rest of them, I have at least one in stock, so I probably won't do any more. The only one that I would like to make is I have board books. You can kind of see them on the table behind me. I have the Llama Llama Red Pajama book back there, and I want to make a llama snuggler in red pajamas to go with that book as just kind of like a nice, like a gift set almost. So I do still want to make the llama snuggler. Rhino plushies, sea turtles. I want to have sea turtles, and I have one extra large sea turtle made out of Sweet Snuggles yarn from Michaels. It might be Chenille Home Slim. I can't remember. Or not Chenille Home Slim, just regular Chenille Home, like the thicker chenille from Michaels. I only have that one. I'd really like to have those and the small sea turtles, so the regular sea turtles I make are Crochet by Jenna, and then the small sea turtle is the free pattern by Red Fox, the Friendly Red Fox. It's free on her blog. I wanted to make another hedgehog. I only have one. I think I might just leave that alone. I have 3 Diddy decks, dragon snugglers. I wanted to make 2 more. I think I'm going to leave it. I've taken Clubs the Clown off of my to-do list. I'm really sad about it, but realistically, I have the Plague Doctor, and these are Creature Made patterns. They are very big. They are quite a time commitment. The Plague Doctor took me, I couldn't even tell you how long the Plague Doctor took me. So I know Clubs the Clown is going to take a while, plus since they are bigger ticket items, they are more than likely not going to sell. I don't really know. I know not this upcoming market because I've never done it before, but the first one I have in November, historically I've sold at least one of my like quote unquote showstopper items, which is like my 100 and over items, but it's in November, so we're past Halloween, and I really don't want to get stuck with a clown in my house. I hate clowns. They freak me out. So I don't think I'm going to make any more of those. I have 2 bee garden bears. One's not quite finished yet, so I'm going to finish that. I wanted to make, and these are Nooks Hooks, I think. I'll correct myself on the screen. I wanted to make the flower and the overall bears as well. It comes in like a pattern pack, and I just don't think I'm going to have time. So I am not putting those on my list. I'm taking them off. Flower spiders, again, very Halloween. I wanted to have a couple. I might still try to make them, but they look like they might be a little bit more of a time commitment. So I'm not really sure what that's going to look like. The next thing I have is all of the animals in like the drinks patterns, an axolotl, a manatee, a T-Rex, a cappuccino. I have those 4 patterns, and I wanted to make some for these markets coming up. But again, I don't think I'm going to have time. I've never made them before, so I might just leave those off the list for right now. I wanted to make one more giraffe snuggler, but I do have a giraffe snuggler in stock, so I think I'm just going to leave that one alone as well. Snowy owls. I do want to make some snowy owls, so I'm going to keep that on the list. Small Ninja Turtles. I'm going to take those off. I've never made them before, and I just don't see myself getting around to that. Junebug and James Flowers. Now, I had this whole vision of having this flower bar where you could create your own forever flower bouquet, and I was going to have all of these buckets full of flowers. I've worked on sunflowers. They are, first of all, let me just tell you, these patterns are gorgeous. I've made the sunflowers, and I've made 2 of them so far. They are stunning, and they actually work up a lot quicker than you would think they do, because once you kind of get into the rhythm of it, it's actually very quick. It's just like a lot of repetition, and they're all no-sew, which is fantastic. Well, I say they're all. The sunflower is definitely no-sew. I don't know about the others because I haven't made them yet. There are a lot of those flower patterns by Junebug and James. I think what I'm going to do is pick maybe 5 of the most popular cut flowers, maybe. Just do some research on Google. I've done the sunflowers because I feel like sunflowers this time of year are perfect. I might do some roses. I'm not really sure. Definitely lavender I want to include. And then I'll probably pick 2 more that maybe look a little bit less complicated, although they all look kind of complicated. But I think that's going to be my plan there, is pick 5, maybe. Well, I have 6 buckets, so I might just pick 6 and just make 6 of them and call it good and do like 2 or 3 of each. The next, Fable Friends, I wanted to make some dogs, cats, and the newer released pattern, the Millie and Friends pattern pack, which is like the duck, the chicken, and the rooster, and it comes with a mallard mod as well. There's 4 of them. I'm not going to have time. I've made, we went over them last week, 12 of them, I believe, is how many I made. So I think that's good. They're mid-tier items for me. I'm going to do them for $30 and $32 a piece, I think, depending on how detailed they are. And I just have a lot of them already, and I don't really, unless I have time towards the end, I'm not going to spend any more time on those because I spent an entire week working on those and all of the little outfits to go with them, so I'm just not going to do it. And then the last thing on my list is Kinder Knots, my favorite patterns. I have 7 of her other patterns that I would really like to make, at least 1 of each. Again, they're larger projects. They're kind of lower on the priority list at the current moment, but I am going to leave them on just in case I have time. So that is my update. As you can see, I have a lot that I want to get done still. We still have 10 days leading up to the market, so I think after eliminating like half of this list, I think it's fairly doable. I also have a bucket of whips somewhere that I need to get finished. I'm not 100% certain where that has gone. So I know I have like a mini anchor in there, and I have a couple of snugglers that need to get finished with embroidered eyes and things along those lines. So I do feel like I'm in really good shape inventory wise. I just need to make sure that I have enough of everything, because my biggest fear and also my biggest dream is to sell out at one of these markets at some point. But at the same time, I really don't want to sell out. I want to have plenty, because my thing is like, if you sell out, like let's just say you have a 4-hour market and I have these possums and I sell out of the possums in the first 2 hours, and that's 15 possums. If I had another 15, I might have sold all 15 of those in the last 2 hours. So that's like a lot of money that I'm missing out on by selling out, if that makes sense, which logically, like if you're sold out of something, people don't know that you have it, so they pick something else anyways. So I don't know. It's just like in my brain, my fear of selling out is always in the forefront of my mind, but also I would love to sell out. It's a bit of a conundrum. Oh, and then also on my list are my book buddies. So in addition to Llama Llama Red Pajama, I also have the Very Hungry Caterpillar. I have 3 of those. So I need to make 3 of the All From Jade, like the fidget caterpillars, and I'm going to make it in the same colors as the book character. I have I don't know if you can really see it, but right there, I have the burnout blanket it's the green mystical burnout blanket, and I think that would be really perfect for the body. And then obviously red for the head. So those actually could be fairly quick to knock out. And then the other book buddy that I have is Corduroy. I have 2 copies of the Corduroy book. I've been rambling for 15 minutes, so I'm going to jump off and figure out what I'm moving on to next. And I'll touch base with you guys in a little bit. All right, quick update. It's been a little while, but I have been working on a custom loaf cat. We're making a little striped tabby. Ignore that's a ball of yarn. But I realized that it has green eyes and I'm out of green eyes. So I had to push pause to, oh my gosh, I can't, hold on, to paint. You can't even really see it because they're 20 millimeters, so it's kind of hard to see the color. Let me see if I can hold these differently. There we go. It's kind of hard to see the color, but because they're so small, but I had to pause to paint some. I painted 5 pairs of the 20s, and then, oh, you can see the color on these now, and 2 pairs of the 25s. I don't know what I'm going to use the 25s for. The only reason I painted them is because I had a lot of resin still in my little cup, and obviously I don't want that to go to waste. So I grabbed 2 pairs of the 25s to paint with the same color. I have a few larger projects that I want to make for my market coming up, so I'll probably use those in or on some of those other projects. So I'm going to get these last 2. I need to do one more coat on the second pair of 25s, I think. Maybe, yeah. I'm going to do one more coat on those and then get all of this resin stuff put away so that I can clean off my desk again. And then I'm going to finish this loaf cat. All right, ignore my hair. It's wet or damp, I guess, because I just took a shower. But I wanted to get on and update you. It is the next day. I have been working very hard. So I really do love these little guys. They're so stinking cute. So I finished all 10 of these, and I was able to cross it off of my abbreviated to-do list. I just got load-in and vendor packet information for my market that's on the 25th, and I'm not thrilled. So, as you know, as I've harped on for the last several videos, I paid for 2 booth spaces at this market. I'm regretting it for this first one. I can't lie to you. I very much so wish I had stuck with a single booth space for a market that I've never done before. I'm not really sure where my mind was when I made that decision. It is what it is. Anyways, they sent out the vendor packet. So the way that this market is set up is there's several gates that you enter to the festival. It's a festival. It's a fall festival. You enter the space as a vendor and as a shopper through gates that are designated. I think there's 3 gates. So basically they send out the list for each gate as like basically saying, hey, this vendor list, you're entering through gate 1. This vendor list, you're entering gate 2. This vendor list, you're entering through gate 3. Just to help with some of the chaos of trying to find where to go, where to set up, etc., which I really appreciate. I think that's a really good idea to have separate entrances for groups of vendors to help alleviate some of the congestion that can happen when you've got people parking and people running across the street back and forth to their booth space, unloading their cars. People just, I appreciate that so much. So I am gate 1. And there are 35 vendors on the gate 1 list. It might have been up to 40. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. It was like 38. It was definitely in the 30s. So I was just kind of like scanning through to see if I recognized any of the business names on the vendor list for this section. And let me tell you the shock that I felt when I saw 2 other business names that had the word crochet in them. So there's 3 of us, at least. There's one other one that just is like Stitched with Love or something is the business name. And so that could be crocheting, it could be knitting, it could be sewing, it could be any number of things that are just stitches. So that one I'm not sure, but so in this list of less than 40 vendors within the same area, there are at the very least 3 crochet vendors, including me. Now, normally I don't have a problem with there being other crochet vendors. But if you are an event coordinator and you are watching this right now, I plead with you to be mindful of the fact that if you have, I'm just giving you a numbers example here. If you have 1,000 expected shoppers coming to an event, and you have, this event actually has 200 vendors. So they've either taken all of the people that sell crochet and they've crammed them in, and we're right next to the kids area. So I understand logically why it was done that way, because crochet plushies, kids, good mix, whatever. However, there's 220 vendors, I think, at this market. So I'm concerned that if there's at least 3 of us in the first 40 vendors, and there's 160 more vendors, if there are any more crochet vendors, that's a lot. That's a lot of people selling the same thing, even for like if I go to a market and there's 50 vendors and there's 2 of us, I don't care. I don't really care. I think it's great. There's a variety. Usually you have a lot of different styles or different items. It's never usually the same thing. But to cram at least 3 in the same row of vendors, it's literally from the gate to where it splits off to go into the town square. There are 3 of us at least. I'll get over it. I'm probably going to complain about it for the rest of the day, and then I'll move on. Instead of focusing on my quote unquote best sellers, because there's a likelihood that the other vendors are going to have very similar items to me, I am going to mostly focus on things that kind of set me apart from those other vendors. So with that said, I am going to focus next on making the book buddies. I need 3 caterpillars, a llama, and 2 corduroy teddy bears. So that is going to be my next focus. And then the Junebug and James flowers is also going to be on that priority list, because I feel like those 2 things might be unique items that I can put at the front of my booth on like a really nice display and hopefully bring people into my space. And then they will see my stuffed cow or my chubby birds that maybe other vendors have, but the other vendors didn't have the stuff that brought them into my booth. That's kind of how I'm approaching this now. So I was going to make 5 of the cream, like off-white ducks, but I'm not doing that now. I'm going to go with the 5 that I have. Now I have these 10 mallards. I'm happy with that. I'm good to go. I don't need to make any more. So that said, book buddies are going to be next. I think I'm going to start with the corduroy teddy bears and get those done because I can at least batch make those. And then I'm going to move on to the caterpillars because I can batch make those as well. And then we'll finish the llama. I would love to get all of those done today. I don't think I'm going to get all of those done today. But if I could get the bears and at least get started on the caterpillars, I'll be happy. But I do have some custom orders that I need to work on as well that need to ship out tomorrow. I have one that's almost done that needs to ship out tomorrow. And then I think I have one that needs to ship out Saturday. And we will be out of town starting tomorrow morning. So I need to get that done tonight as well. So that said, I'm going to stop yapping because it's been, again, 14 minutes of me just running my mouth and I need to get to work. So I will check back in with you guys in a little bit when I get to work on these bears.
I had this dream that we jump in the car, we flip a coin, or we follow the brightest star. We'll leave it all behind. Yeah, and I'll just follow your heart. Since we found each other, we'll never get lost. There are no wrong turns when we're together. There are no wrong turns. You'll miss the exit and I'll just laugh.
Okay, I might have messed up. I don't think I did, but there's a slight possibility. So obviously I have 2 copies of the corduroy books. So I need to make 2, and I like to batch make. So I made all the ears, and then I've made the heads. This is all I have left of the yarn that I'm using. This is the colored Caramel by Premier Basic Chenille. This is the color that I wanted to use because I felt like it matched him the best. I have a box from Premier down on the landing that I just haven't had a chance to open and go through. So we're going to do that right now because this is definitely not enough. Well, it would probably be close. Maybe we'll play some Yarn Chicken and just see. I'm almost positive I ordered quite a few skeins of this color in my last Premier order, but I placed it while we were in the UK, like towards the end of our trip. So it's been several weeks since I ordered, and I don't remember what I got. The other thing that I'm trying to think about is thinking ahead. If these sell well, I'm obviously going to need a lot of this color, and I have one more skein of this green that I'm using for the overalls, and then this is Steel Cut Oats, and I think I'm down to, I have one more on my shelf. I think, again, this was included in my Premier order as well. So hopefully I've got both of these in that order. Otherwise, if not, I'm not really sure. I definitely have enough to finish at least one of the bears. But I think we're playing a little bit of Yarn Chicken here. We'll see how close we get. But I've got both heads done. I'm about to start on the body for one of them. So I'll probably get the body finished for one and then move on to the second one, and then obviously just need the arms and the little tails. I don't think I have enough to do both, but we will see, because obviously the majority of the body is going to be this green color, so I might be okay. But I also only have one more skein of this, so I probably need to place another order, because I know I did not get this in my Premier order, I don't think. And I use this color now for like my mallards along with sage green, and this one is emerald. I use this in sage green for mallards, and I use Steel Cut Oats for mallards. So I really just need to place a bulk order for just the colors that I use the most often. Yeah, that's my update right now. It's not even 12 o'clock. I feel like today has been going by so incredibly slow for whatever reason, which is a good thing because I feel like I have more time to get stuff done, which is almost, it's like not true, because obviously it's the same amount of time in the day. It just feels like it's going slower. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to get back to work, and I will keep you updated on the Yarn Chicken. We'll see how much yarn it takes me to finish the body for one of these bears. I lost Yarn Chicken. This is literally all I have left. It's not even enough to make the tail for the second one. But, so I have a head. I didn't even get to start on the second body of the second bear. So this is all I have of the second one. I could tell that I was going to run out of yarn, so I decided to just fully make, even though I really like batch making things and making all of the pieces and then doing all of the sewing and embroidering and all of that, I decided to just fully make this one aside from the face details. I'm literally in love. I think on the next one, look at how adorable. Look at you. Hold on. Ah! Chaos. I have to tell you guys that having a broken ankle and having to navigate in my house and in my office without hurting myself has been quite comical, I must say. It's very frustrating, but it's also very funny. Anyways, there is the first little book buddy is done pretty much. Obviously, I still need to do the eyes and embroider the nose. I'm unsure if I'm going to embroider a little mouth. Probably not. I'm probably just going to do what I normally do. I'm just absolutely, I love. And I think it matches pretty well as far as the colors. I'm obsessed. So I have one more to finish. Like I said, I have run out. I think on the next one, I don't know. I kind of like where I ended the overalls on this one. The book is slipping. Stay. I do kind of like it. And I just embroidered little silver buttons on the front. And look at his little tail. His little tail is so cute. Anyways. So 1 out of 2 is finished. I am going to have to go scoot off and go on an adventure down to the landing where our front door is so I can bring up the rest of, or I guess the premiere package, and we're going to go through that together. And cross your fingers that I have caramel and steel cut oats, because if not, I am in trouble. At least I have one done. Ugh. Box acquired. Okay, so I've got 2 skeins of mustard. What do I have? No, I don't. I don't have this. I have curry. Here's mustard. So 2 skeins of mustard. Where am I going to put this while I unbox the rest of this stuff? I have 2 skeins of blush. Not really loving the texture of that one. A very funny texture. I have 2 skeins of, now, oh, this is rust. Is that not what's up there? That might be. These look so similar, but I'm pretty sure what's up there is curry. And this is rust. I've got 2 chocolate. I really like this color. I'm loving all of the different shades of brown that you can get with Premier. All right, we've got 4 skeins of steel cut oats, so that's good news. There's one that I needed. I've got, oh, there's caramel. Bless it. I think this is mushroom. Yeah, 4 skeins of mushroom, which is kind of like a tan base color. I've got 4 skeins of cotton candy. 4 skeins of cotton candy. I've got 4 skeins of pewter, just like a really pretty gray. And then here is the, oh my gosh, I only got 4, so probably gonna have to place another order, but there's the caramel. So 4 skeins, which is good, but that could go fairly quickly because I think for those 10 mallards, I went through 1.5 skeins of the steel cut oats. And then obviously the corduroy, I used like a skein to make all of those pieces, maybe just under a skein to make all of the pieces that I have so far. And I ran out. That could potentially go quickly. And then I've got 4 skeins of fog, which I used for bunnies and mice in my last video. And then I've got 4 in banana. And then I've got 4 black and 4 white. But really what I was worried about was the caramel, because obviously I want to be able to finish my corduroy bears. So I am going to get that at least this caramel skein that's open out and set that aside. Luckily, it might be a very, very slightly different dye lot. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell on camera, but there's like strands, like this, I don't know, this strand right here. You probably can't even see it. it's a slightly different color than the rest of it. That's interesting. Anyways, hopefully that'll be fine. I'm going to get to work on that corduroy bear, and then I'm going to plug my batteries in because apparently I have not been charging my phone batteries while I've been doing other things, which is not great, not ideal. So I'm going to get those charging really quick and get to work on this corduroy. And then I think the next, what did I say I was going to move on to next? I think I said I was going to move on to the All from Jade caterpillar. So I think that's going to be the move next. So if my batteries don't charge fast enough, then you will hear from me once. How did all of this fit in here? Because I still have 2 skeins left. Plus I pulled one out and it's full. What do you mean? Anyways, that's my plan of attack for right now. I'm going to get these batteries charging, and then, yeah, we'll touch base with you guys in a little bit. Hopefully after I finish the corduroy bear. If not, it'll be after I start working on the All from Jade caterpillars. Okay. Hi, friends. It has been several days since I last checked in. It was a rough weekend. I had a funeral to attend on Friday for a dear friend of my mom's, and it was really hard. So I just haven't really wanted, it's now Monday. I haven't really wanted to pick up the camera, understandably. It's just been really rough over here, and I just want to, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you haven't seen this yet, but I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that it is the month of October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to maintain your self-checks. Either do it yourself, have your partner, your best friend, if you're super comfortable with them. Do your self-checks. Schedule the mammogram that you've been putting off. It's very important. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because if you want to read more about what happened on Friday, you can go over to my Instagram. It's the big pink breast cancer awareness post. And I want to follow that by saying for the rest of the month of October, which by the time this goes live, October will almost be over, but I'm also extending it through the entire month of November. I am donating 15% of all of my profits from my sales at my markets, my Etsy, my website, all of my YouTube ad revenue. 15% of the profits from every single source of income that I have is going to be donated to Susan G. Komen in honor of my mom's best friend. Even if you are not able to purchase a pattern or purchase a plushie, or if you are not local to me and can't come and shop my markets, just simply watching this YouTube video for free generates a level of income for me from the ad revenue that I get, just from the ads playing. That, I mean, I think you can even skip through them and whatever. But all of that, I am still counting towards my income for the month of October. The rest of, oh my gosh, words. I am counting all of that basically starting, I think, probably October 15th is the date that I'm going to start this, like, calculating my income, and then through the rest of October, and then the entire month of November. So thank you in advance if you do purchase anything, but also for those of you that are not able to monetarily contribute, which is 100% fine. I don't expect it at all. Thank you so much for watching this video, because the revenue from this video will have a portion donated to breast cancer research. So, all right. Enough doom and gloom. I've had enough of that this weekend. I wanted to come on and update you because I haven't shown you anything that I have made over the last 4 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today. So, first off, I wanted to show you, I'm going to have to roll around now because it's kind of all over the place. So, you guys know that I bought a bunch of board books that I wanted to create some book buddies for, and I have finished most of them. They were one of the top priorities on my list because I think I mentioned, and I've already had a whole rant on this upcoming market, which is on Saturday. It's coming up at the end of this week, that I'm going to have at least 2 other crochet vendors within the same vicinity of me, possibly 4. So I wanted to focus on the things that were going to make me stand out a little bit, and I'm going to display those items at the very front of my booth to kind of draw people in. And one of those items are the board books that I have. So I have 2 copies of Little Corduroy here, just a little teddy bear. And I have 2 of the Little Corduroy teddy bears. I used Mama Made Minis Briggs Bear. My gosh, words are really hard for me today, so please excuse me in advance. Or forgive me, whatever. You know what I mean. This is Briggs the Bear. It is the smaller bear snuggler version for Mama Made Minis. Obviously, he doesn't have any of his face details, but I used Premier Basics chenille. I used caramel, steel cut oats, emerald, and then I think fog for the buttons. And I just followed the pattern and did the color changes. I did chains for the little straps. And I'm obsessed. And I think it's a pretty good match. You could also, if you don't have the Briggs Bear pattern by Mama Made Minis, you could also use BK Crochet's bear snuggler pattern. It's super cute as well. I think if these sell, I want to try to use BK Crochet's as well, just to kind of compare the two and see which one people seem more gravitate towards more. A lot of people don't necessarily like the knotted legs on the snugglers, so I could modify this and take out the longer length of the legs and just not knot them. Just have shorter legs made. So I don't know. I'm kind of like in the testing phase just to see what people like. I'm also going to take photos of these once I have the face details, and I'm going to post them on my Etsy as well for sale. So those are going to be available over on Etsy too, and on my website, of course. And the next one that I have is the Very Hungry Caterpillar. I have 3 copies of this. Again, I think I mentioned this before. Don't ask me why I bought such a weird number of each of these books. I bought 2 of the Corduroy, 3 of the Very Hungry Caterpillar, and then I bought Llama Llama Red Pajama, and I only bought 1 copy, so I don't really know what was going on in my brain at the time, but I used All From Jade's Caterpillar pattern, and it's the one that's kind of like a fidget almost, and I made 2 in this colorway, and these are Bernat Blanket. This is the Mystical I don't know the color off the top of my head, but this is one of the mystical colors, and then just regular old red. So I've got 2 in that colorway. Again, I still need to embroider the eyes, and then I ran out of the mystical green. I have ordered some. It's coming. It's on the way. But I had this yarn left over, just like a small amount, and it was almost like the perfect amount to finish the 3rd one. And I actually almost think this yarn fits better with the blue, like the pops of blue, because he actually does have little pops of blue in there. So I actually kind of think this one might match a little bit better as far as like the colors go. But the Mystical is just so soft. I mean, this is soft too, but I love Mystical, so I'm probably going to just stick with the Mystical yarn. I'm not really sure, honestly. So those are the book buddies. I have not finished the llama. I don't know that I'm going to have time to finish the llama. I might try to squeeze it in Thursday night or Friday before I have my follow-up appointment for my ankle on Friday. So I might try to squeeze that in, but I did kind of switch gears because, again, focusing on the things that are going to set me apart from the other crochet vendors, hopefully, I started working on the Junebug and James flowers. Now, y'all, So I have made flowers out of acrylic before. You guys have seen that on this channel before if you've been around for a while. I have the lavender, which I have a couple of sprigs of lavender that I've kept that are up here. And then there's even more back, like literally right there. You can see it kind of. And then I also have roses and I have tulips, and I haven't really tried to sell them a whole lot. I still need to finish the roses, which I think was the last thing you guys saw on the flowers, which was months and months ago. It was a long time ago. But Junebug and James came out with their friendship flower collection, and I applied to test and I didn't get selected, but she ran a huge sale on all of the, literally all of the flowers that she's ever written. And I bought every single one. All of them. I bought all the packs. So I have all of the flowers. I think there's like there's definitely more than 10. I want to say there's like 15 flowers or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is the sunflower. I'm in love. Absolutely in freaking love with these flower patterns. They work up surprisingly quickly for what they are. Granted, this one, the sunflower, took some time because you've got obviously the center, but you've got essentially 3 layers of petals because you've got the 2 different colors, and then you've also got the green leaves in the back. So this one takes some time. These are $25 a piece. I could probably charge more, but the second one didn't take as long as the first one because obviously I was familiar with the process at that point. So they're $25. I'm going to see how they do. The next flower I made from her collection were the lavenders. I'm obsessed with these. These ones are $22 because they're a little bit less detailed, but they're also more detailed, if that makes sense. It's not as many colors, and it's fairly straightforward once you kind of get in the groove. I could probably do 20 on these, but I decided to just land at 22 because they are very full. So I've got 2 different colors of this one. And then the next one I made were the daisies. They look a little bit crazy at the moment because they've been in a box. But I made 2 white daisies, and these ones took, they were so quick because it was very simple. So these ones are $18 a piece. And then the last flower that I got done was the hibiscus. This is absolutely stunning. And this one is also $25. Even though it doesn't have as many petals and things as the sunflower, there was a lot of detail that kind of went into the whatever this part of the flower is. I probably could have just done 22 on these like I did for the lavender, but this is the only one I have at the moment. I do want to make another one of this. And then obviously I really want to have time to make the others, but there's really only so much time left between now and Friday. Or Saturday. Now, to give you guys a very quick and brief update, I am going out of town tomorrow. I have a conference for work, so I'm gone Tuesday through Thursday. I should be back around like 2 o'clock on Thursday, so I will have a little bit of time to work on other things when I get home. I'm taking all of my chicken yarns with me to my hotel, and in the evenings I'm going to be making regular Mabel chickens, and I'm going to be making these little mini chickens because I don't need to take stuffing with me for these. I can just leave them open and then finish them when I get home on Thursday or on Friday, and I don't have to worry about it. But I want a giant basket full of mini chickens in a bunch of different colors, and then I want to have some more Mabel chickens because right now, after we did our mock setup, I only had 5 Mabel chickens. 4 of them are gray, so clearly people don't like the dark gray chickens, and then one is kind of like it's actually this color. One is this color. So you have 1 dark gray or 4 dark gray and then 1 of these. So I just kind of want to mix it up a little bit, make some other colors, and then I might try to bang out some hatching chicks as well. I'm not really sure if I'm going to have a whole lot of time to make the hatching chicks and the eggs to go with them. So I'm kind of up in the air on that one, but definitely navel chickens and mini chickens. And I think that's really it, honestly. So I'm going to give you an update on my inventory count, because you guys know, if you've been watching for the last several weeks, I have been working my patookie off. I've been crocheting so much, and I've also added in some inventory that I wasn't taking to my markets, like my sweatshirts I'm taking, so that added quite a lot of my embroidered sweatshirts. That added quite a lot of inventory, but I wanted to give you guys a count on how much inventory I am actually taking with me. So according to my spreadsheet that I just exported from my Shopify, which is what I use for my POS system, that's where I upload everything. This is not including the mini chickens that I have or the book buddies, which is obviously not that many items. I have 403 items, and that's, I've got beanies this time, my sweatshirts, I have a lot of sweatshirts. I've been really cranking it, you guys. So I have 403 items to take with me to this market. Holy macaroni. The total value of my inventory is $9,640. That is a bananas number. That's bananas. That is actually insane. That is actually insane. Wow. That just blew my mind. I feel so much better. I feel like I've been going back and forth on how stressed out I feel about this upcoming market and the following one, because the one after this weekend, the first weekend in November, that one was my second biggest market of the year last year. And I'm nervous having a market directly, like immediately before that. But I'm going to go ahead and end the vlog here, because I have a lot that I need to get done tonight. It's already 4:30. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget that every second you watch, the more money gets put into the ad revenue, and the more will get donated to breast cancer research. So I really appreciate you guys watching so much. You have no idea. And of course, you can find my Etsy, my website, all of the fun things linked in the description should you feel compelled. If you've been eyeballing any of my patterns, obviously I just released my Fergus pattern, so that is out there. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
I had this dream that we jump in the car, we flip a coin, or we follow the brightest star. We'll leave it all behind. Yeah, and I'll just follow.